My name is Pilar, and this is...
Hi.
Hi. Welcome to the Review Podcast. My name is Pilar.
And my name is Ryan, and this week we'll be discussing Jeff Baena's, it's kind of raunchy, his 2017 medieval comedy, The Little Hours. Let's jump into the synopsis. So The Little Hours, which is loosely based on part of Giovanni Boccaccio's 14th century novella collection, The Decameron, it follows the adventures of three nuns as they each grow more and more discontent with their boring lives in the convent. Their malaise is disrupted, however, when a handsome young servant is brought in to work as a farmhand. Despite his guise of being a deaf mute, his good looks and just general presence is enough to seduce each of the nuns one by one, which culminates in a night of blasphemous revelry, exposing all of the corruption in the convent. That's about it.
Yeah, pretty much it's a harem movie.
Yeah, it's a harem.
But going into the main characters, we have the three nuns that Ryan explained. Fernanda, who is played by Aubrey Plaza. She is kind of the mischievous nun. She's always getting, Aubrey Plaza. Yeah. Do what she do. She's always getting into like shenanigans. We have Alessandra, who is played by Alison Brie, and she's kind of like is frigid the right word?
Yeah, frigid.
Yeah, frigid. She
rigid.
Rigid.
Both of which I think are
well,
true.
she's the nun who actually doesn't want to be a nun because she wants to be married off to a very wealthy man. But her family is kind of struggling with getting that in order, so she's staying at this convent until it gets done, which it is foretold that nobody really cares. Then we have Ginevra,
I think. Sister Ginevra.
Yeah, Sister Ginevra, who is played by Kate Makini?
Masici? I don't know her name.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Well, she is kind of the tattletale nun. She's always up in people's business and just trying to rat people out for her own benefit, just to seem more holier, I guess.
Yeah. I called her the snitch bitch.
Yeah, she is the snitch bitch. So those are the three nuns. Other characters we have that are in the convent, we have Macedo, who is played by Dave Franco, who is the servant boy who turned into kind of the handyman around the convent.
Yeah, he's like kind of a gardener, kind of a handyman.
Yeah. Who has to pretend he's deaf mute in order to protect himself from the very kind of abusive nuns that live in this convent.
Yeah. He replaces the old gardener who just quit because he was sick of all the harassment he was receiving from the nuns.
Yeah. Then we have Father Tommaso, who is played by John C. Reilly.
Not to be confused with
R.C. Reilly. And, he's kind of just a chill out priest. I think he would have been real cool to go to church with.
Fair enough.
And then then we have Mother, in my notes I have Mother Superior, but Mother Maria. Yeah. She's played by Molly Shannon. She's, typical mom, kind of, how Molly Shannon plays her moms. I think she's actually a lot more reserved in this role as kind of in other roles I've seen her in. But then we have Archbishop Bartholomew.
It's almost like Bartholomew, but
almost. Played by Fred Armisen. Oh my god, I cannot pronounce anybody's name.
That's all right. Fred Armisen.
He's hilarious. Yeah. But I feel like I'll get into it. We have Lord Bruno, who is played by Nick Offerman, who is kind of just like some random lord who lives around the convent.
Well, it's in a separate town.
But it's like the nearest.
Yes, it's the nearest town. He lives in a castle.
He does.
He's the lord who employs Macedo, and Macedo is having an affair with his
with his
Lord's
wife.
Yeah, with the
Who
Lord's
is
wife.
Francesca,
Yes.
played by Lauren Weidman. Top notch. And then we have Marta, who is played by Jimena?
I think it's
Jamina?
Jemima.
Jemima? The girl from Girls, like the cool one.
The cool
The
cool girl from Girls. Why is that hard to say?
The cool girl from Girls.
She plays the cool girl.
She plays the cool girl in this movie too. So yeah, those are the characters.
So this was the second time that we watched this movie.
Yeah, I think so.
I think the first time I enjoyed it a little bit more than I did this time.
Yeah, I remember it being a lot funnier than it actually was this go around. We did watch it in theaters. I think that watching it in theaters always heightens a sort of sensibility, no matter what movie you're watching. So
the popcorn just has so much, I don't know what it is. But it wasn't as good this time around for me personally. I did laugh out loud a few times, but yeah, it was like whatever.
Yeah, I laughed a couple times, but not as much as I remembered from the first time watching it. So I liked it. Okay, it was fine.
Did you have an interpretation? It's kind of
not almost. Really. I try to think of what an interpretation could be.
I mean,
it's just like, it's a very simple plot. It's these nuns just doing their nun stuff, and then Aubrey Plaza just decides that she wants to be a witch and she wants to make her friends witches. And then they actually don't become witches. So sad.
I mean, it's a comedy. It's definitely like making fun of Catholicism and stuff. Like I was thinking like specifically that there's so many scenes in which they make fun of religion and like the convent and like the structure that they live in. And I think the one scene that really points it out is when they Father Tommaso. I always get him, Tommaso, and Macedo mixed up, and I want to call him Tomato. Father Tommaso.
Tommaso.
What is his name? Father Tommaso. Yeah. He is there with Macedo. Is their first night chilling, and they're drinking some wine.
Oh yeah.
And Macedo's like,
should we be drinking this?
Should we be drinking this holy wine right now? And like, as corrupt as he is, Father Tommaso is like, yeah, it's okay. I'm
the one who blessed it.
Yeah, I blessed it already. It's fine.
It's my blessing. We can drink.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. I will say, like, it's not really an interpretation, but I do think they poke fun at kind of the not double standard, but kind of double standard. It's like, what's the word? Contradiction of religion, is specifically Catholicism.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, like at the very end, Father Tommaso is sent to be a monk because he lets all the shenanigans ruin the convent. So he like meets up with Molly Shannon, and he's like, I hate being a monk. It fucking sucks.
I think he says it's boring as hell.
Oh yeah, he said it's boring as hell. So yeah, I find it funny in that sort of sense of like poking fun of religion in its kind of contradictory. Just how people aren't really, they'll do whatever they want to do with whatever they want to believe, which would in whatever way it benefits them. So.
I did think it was funny when they come running back from like the ritual, like the witch ritual. I don't want to call it a coven because a coven's like a thing. It's not, there's like a ritual going on. When they all come running back from that,
it's almost like a bacchal.
Bacchal. I don't know what that word means.
Oh shit!
I'll put it in the thing.
Right now.
No, it's fine. When they all come running back and everything is going all crazy. They're kind of like telling on Sister Ginevra because she's like just lost her mind. She's like high as hell on what is
it's
it?
almost like a love potion, I think.
Oh, belladonna.
Belladonna, yeah. So you're not supposed to drink it. You're supposed to put it in your eyes, but
I guess it just like whitens your eyes or something.
Maybe. Anyways, Ginevra
she drinks
ingests it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
she
then
gets messed up.
High as heck.
Yeah.
And
anyway, so she's running through the convent, waking everybody up. Everything's going all crazy. And then she's telling on everybody like,
they're witches, they're witches.
Like, she's a witch. He can talk and stuff like that. And then somebody
she's like naked, covered in blood.
Yeah, she's naked, covered in blood. And then somebody is like, well, she's a Jew. And like everything just goes quiet. Like that's the last straw.
Yeah, like witches, fine. You know. What is it? The thing where he's like her mouth on her sex. What did he say? Oh, sodomy. Sodomy's fine.
It's just
but
like,
being Jewish is not. So.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. It's like making fun of religion just in general.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, the director of this movie, his name is Jeff Baena.
Okay.
I never actually like heard of him before, but he initially. Back in 2004, he co-wrote I Heart Huckabees.
Okay.
And then he had like kind of like an accident, a car wreck or something, which kind of changed his life and stalled his kind of career. But anyway, he's been in a relationship with Aubrey Plaza since 2011, and he's done 4.
Are we still dating?
Yeah. They've done 4 movies. Life After Beth was kind of his first. Solo.
He did Joshi?
Yeah.
Okay.
Joshi, The Little Hours, this movie.
Horse Girl.
And then Horse Girl, which we have not seen.
I fell asleep to it, though.
You did?
I did.
Oh, nice. It must be pretty good.
I mean, I feel like Little Hours is also one of those movies I possibly fell asleep to as well. I would just put it on because it was at Netflix. So I didn't actually watch it again. I just put it on and fell asleep immediately.
Yeah. Anyway, he seems to work with a lot of the same actors and have like this crew of his,
like a satire not Sweeney Todd satire. Who's that guy who did Sweeney Todd? Tim Burton.
Yeah,
that guy. Like that.
I mean, a lot of directors have their go-to actors.
Yeah. I feel like that's something I didn't like about this film. It was almost just like a film with his buddies.
Yeah. So let's get into that. Let's get into some aspects.
All right. Where do you want to go?
Let's see. So, I wanted to say I was not particularly impressed with the acting overall. It did feel like a movie with some pals.
Yeah, I think we watched a similar movie. It was like do you remember? It had the guy who plays Daryl in The Office. It's like Detective Love Bluff or something like that.
Detective Love Bluff?
Yeah, it's like that guy.
There's no movie called Detective Love Bluff.
It's something like that. It had Aubrey Plaza in it too, and she was like in love with the guy who played Daryl. And she goes to this hotel to like meet him. She's like married with this other guy who like robs a bank.
Is that like Ingrid Goes West? Or...
No, that's another movie with Aubrey Plaza.
I don't know.
We watched it for like 20 minutes, and then we're like, this movie sucks.
I don't know.
All right, well,
I'll look it up.
Yeah, we'll look it up. Anyways, it felt like that. Well, I mean, I think that movie was worse because we stopped watching it. Yeah, it just like. I did find out that I pretty much think all of the dialogue is improvised, or at least most of it.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I just read that like before I came here. I thought it was improvised. He said he had like, or Jeff had a loose outline of what he wanted people to say, but for the most part, I think everything was improvised.
Okay, that makes sense because I wanted to say, as much as it feels like a buddy movie, like I felt like casting wise was pretty good, but it was like
Yeah.
everybody was kind of playing who they always play.
Yeah.
Like,
It was very typecasted.
yeah,
But
like,
then at the same time, how can you be typecasted if it's like just you improvising?
yeah. I mean, everything. I mean, Aubrey Plaza has this like same. Uh, what's it called? Breakout? No. What's it called when you just like you're like quiet and then you just like go off on somebody?
Outbreak? I don't know.
Outbreak? That just doesn't sound right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway,
Anyways.
she always sounds like how she sounds in this movie.
Yeah, I think there was a line in there where she was being punished for being a witch, and he was like, Fred Armisen was like, for speaking to me in a condescending tone, and she's like, "That's just my voice. This is how it sounds."
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's a good example. Funny you brought up Fred Armisen because I thought if anyone was the standout performance, it is him, because
I think he's had a lot of practice with Portlandia because I think most of their stuff is improvised.
Well, also he, instead of like being himself, he plays like the straight man almost.
Okay, yeah.
Like he
well,
is
also
just
being hilarious.
Yeah, I mean he's just reacting to how ridiculous everything is. But he does also kind of do that on Portlandia.
Yeah.
Like very like flatline, deadpan comedy, which he's so good at.
This is the longest list of sins I've ever had to write.
He, I think Sister Ginevra was one of the things he listed was being a busybody. Just being a busybody.
Oh man,
that stuff's so funny.
So funny. Yeah. I feel like he was probably my favorite performance.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the performance that lacked the most to me was probably Aubrey Plaza's. Yeah. And whatever her name, Jemima.
Marta.
Marta.
Yeah.
But she was just in the movie for like 2 seconds.
Yeah. I thought
I also felt like Dave Franco did really, really good.
Really?
Yeah.
Just being quiet.
Well, he wasn't being quiet.
I guess he had to act the most.
Yeah, he had to act the most because he wasn't allowed to speak. So he had to like really do a lot with his like body.
Okay. Yeah.
I think he did pretty good.
Okay, I'll give him that. I don't know. It's not like standout performance to me. If I think of Dave Franco, I'm never gonna think of this movie.
Yeah.
Any other aspects? You got any aspects?
I mean, I think I do like period comedies. There's like Love and Friendship, and then there's like Monty Python, specifically The Holy Grail and stuff like that. I just feel like this one was kind of on the lower end of that. I mean, I don't know how much the budget was. It doesn't look spectacular. It doesn't sound spectacular, but at the same time, because it's set at this certain period, it kind of fits to not look or sound spectacular. It just is.
Yeah. So it's called like anachronistic.
Mm-hmm.
Is when you do like a time period piece, but then like the dialogue is modern, like their actions are modern. Like they're like cussing and like saying all this funny stuff. But
when like Dave Franco was confessing his sins, dude, I don't know how John C. Reilly was not cracking up. I mean, they have a confessional booth where they're just confessing their sins, and at some point Dave Franco's like confessing that he's had an affair with his lord's wife, and that he's like at some point she put her mouth on my sex. And John C. Reilly is like, that's sodomy. And he's like, no, but he put her mouth was on my sex. And he's like, no, yeah, that's what that is. He's like, but I thought it's when It's the other way around. He's like, yes, there's different forms of sodomy.
Both of them are sodomy.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think that's one of my favorite lines.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny.
Yeah.
There's funny performances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not too much else. I feel like I want to say, do you have anything else that you want?
Yeah, so I thought it was interesting. So of all of the films that we've watched, they've all had great dialogue, but I thought, everything has to do with like the subtext of what is going on.
Yeah.
While this movie is very dialogue heavy, and it almost like just spells out what is going on with what everybody says. Of course, we've been mainly watching like character study pieces.
Yeah.
Which this is just like an ensemble comedy.
I feel like this movie feels like a sparkling water.
It feels like a sparkling water.
Yeah, watching it is like a sparkling water.
What flavor is sparkling water?
Lime.
Lime? Is it?
Maybe citrus.
That is lime.
Yeah, but also like tangerines and like oranges.
Okay. Orangey, tangerine, limey.
Blimey.
All right.
I will say there was like a small subtext where they first meet Macedo. Aubrey Plaza's like walking with a friend or whatever, and Aubrey Plaza is like sweeping, and then she goes to Alison Brie? Yeah. And she's like sweeping under her feet, and like I feel like in that context she's like doesn't really know what's going on, but that's kind of like a superstition where like if you sweep under somebody's feet who's unmarried, then that just it just guarantees that they're never gonna get married. Like it's like bad luck.
Okay.
So I feel like Alison Brie's character doesn't really know what that means, and maybe Aubrey Plaza's character like figured that out with like her little witch friends or whatever, or it's just like a joke that she put in there or something. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Like a little subtext. Like I feel like maybe not a lot of people know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool. Yeah, I thought like I couldn't figure out why this is in the setting it is in. Yeah, I don't really know what the point is. I feel like if it was in a modern setting, you kind of don't even have a movie, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like not enough goes on.
Yeah, I do like Ginevra's character. I like how she's just always in up anybody's business. I feel like she's the main driving force of everything because she's constantly asking questions, and so they're always trying to move, like maneuver and avoid her.
Yeah, it's her busybody tendencies.
It is. Just keeping the movie going.
Yeah.
I do want to say, so I did feel it looked like Aubrey Plaza was wearing a wig the whole time, and it just did not look like a good wig. If that's her hair, that sucks. I do want to say that. It sucks. Yeah. It just looks bad.
It did look like a wig.
Yeah, it like looked too thick for her head. Almost. Or maybe her hair was long and then they put a wig over it. Maybe she was like brown hair or something. I don't know. It just looked weird.
Let's see. So, I got anything else? Oh yeah, it's kind of rapey.
Yeah, it is kind of rapey. Like the weird. It's like has a weird sexual tension to it, to where like I was looking up like interviews on YouTube on this movie, and a lot of like very sexual YouTubes popped up, like just associated with it. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, I did the same thing because we don't own it.
Right.
We watched it on Amazon. But I was looking on Amazon to purchase the movie, and like all of these porns were like in the other items you
suggestion. Yeah,
like
other items purchased.
Yeah, I wasn't even logged in, and like none of the stuff was censored or anything.
Yeah, it was really weird. It's like it had the Little Rascals, and then it had like some real raunchy stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there is like lesbian-ness in it, kind of. I don't know. I mean, there's just girls kissing. I wouldn't really count that as. Well, Ginevra's character comes out as like gay.
Yeah. I couldn't really place my finger on like the relationship between the three nuns either.
Yeah, they weren't like best friends, but they're like the closest thing they could get because it's like everyone else is kind of boring. I think Aubrey Plaza's character is just like stuck with Ginevra because they're like, they do chores together. They wash clothes together.
Yeah.
And then
Alison Brie's character,
she's the rich girl.
Well, she like makes all the embroidered linen fabrics and stuff.
Right.
What do you call them?
Embroidery.
Yeah, I mean whatever. I just said that.
You asked me what it's
That's
called.
Not what I'm looking for. I just said that word. Yeah, Alison Brie's character, she makes all the fabrics that they sell with embroidery and stuff, and I don't know if like tapestries, yes,
but it's not tapestry because the tapestry is the big ones. I think just the little ones are embroidered. Anyways, whatever. They,
I don't know if she like holds herself above the other nuns, or if she like is kind of above them because she like makes the things that the convent sells.
Yeah, she might, but she probably is only doing that because her dad pays so much money to the convent that they don't want to be like, you're also doing chores,
I mean, but she is. She's like doing the most important chores because that's how they get money.
Yeah, but that's a job. It's not a chore. Like sweeping and.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anyway, did you have anything? Did you make anything of like the two towns, like Carfagnan and Lunigiana? So the convent is in Carfagnan, and the Lord, whatever his name is, Nick Offerman's character is in the castle in the town over. I don't really know what major purpose that whole plot line serves, but it does have like, I guess my favorite. No, it's not even my favorite scene. I do like the scene in which Macedo is caught cheating on the Lord's wife, and he jumps out the window and he runs into like the servants' quarters or whatever to go back to sleep, and Nick Offerman like runs down there, and
it's like dark. You can't see anything.
Yeah, it's dark. Everyone's supposed to be asleep, and he goes and like puts his hand on everyone's chest.
Oh,
and,
to see whose heartbeat is like racing.
Yeah. And he finds Macedo, and instead of making a big scene, he grabs like a knife or something, and he cuts his hair, and he's like, "I got you now. We'll sort this out in the morning." And he like drops the knife and walks away, and then Macedo is like, "Well, fuck! Now I gotta cut everybody else's hair."
And all the servants wake up and they're like, "Do you think a demon cut all our hair?"
Yeah, that's one of the best lines of the whole movie. A demon came in here and cut all of her hair.
I do want to say, in the advertisement for this film or the poster, they have a quote from the Catholic League. You know how usually it's like great or great film or number one. Yeah. It says trash, pure trash, and it's like an actual quote from the Catholic League, who rated this movie before they even saw it. So
I mean, it's a pretty good endorsement if you're making fun of Catholicism, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, not too much to say about this film. It's a fine film. It did feel a lot more racier than I remembered, in a worst way than I remembered. It was kind of really, it was a little hard to watch a little bit sometimes, but I mean, witches.
It wasn't the best of times.
Right.
Yeah. What's the worst of times? I don't know. What'd you give this movie? What's your final rating on this movie?
My final rating is a 6.5. The characters weren't there. I mean, all the way. It was the same thing with the dialogue and story. It was pretty bland.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just felt like it was kind of copying like almost the Holy Grail, but like not as funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what did you read?
So I thought like it wasn't as good as the first time I saw it, but I did want to see it again. So I got to give it that. There wasn't anything that I could really knock it on necessarily, like plot hole wise.
Yeah, there wasn't like a plot
I didn't even mean that
like...
to be like my thing, but you know, I do use that to like grade movies, I guess.
Okay.
There was one little thing. So Macedo is a deaf mute, and you know, nobody's supposed to know that. But then Alison Brie's character like seduces him or gets seduced or whatever, and they like start having sex like in the garden, and then their church bell like tolls, and then he kind of gets like spooked, but he's like can't even hear anything apparently. But then like you know, she didn't notice that. But then when he like makes just a little sound when they are having sex the next time, she was like, "Oh, you can talk."
No, maybe he got scared. He said, "Holy shit."
Well, not really. I mean, maybe he did, but like
he did.
No, okay. Well, it didn't sound like much. I don't know. The deaf mute thing. I don't know.
Well, he's supposed to be deaf mute because if he says or anything to the girls, then he'll get harassed.
I know, but he's getting...
Now instead of just being verbally abused, he's getting sexually harassed. Yikes.
Which he's kind of fine with, apparently.
Well, at the beginning, until he starts getting sacrificed.
Yeah. Anyway. Well, it takes him a long time to say anything.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Real commitment to a character.
I gave this movie, I gave it a 6.1, which is a little higher than I thought I was going to give it.
No.
But
higher than the Birds?
It is higher than the Birds.
Wow. I feel like I would rather watch the Birds again than this movie.
I would not, and that's what it came down to. I don't want to see the Birds again, but if I had to, if I was like trying to pick out a movie with some friends one night, you know,
yeah,
I
would
watch
kind
this.
of rather watch this. Yeah. It's slightly funnier.
That's what it came down to. What's your one favorite thing about the movie?
My one favorite thing is probably the first time Macedo is meeting Fernanda, and then she is like weirded out that he's not talking to her because she's like yelling at him, or like she has a knife to his face or whatever, and then was it Molly Shannon comes in and is like, he's a deaf mute, he can't hear you, and she like screams in his face. She's like, and he Dave Frankel's face is just like.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty funny.
Oh man,
that's pretty funny. My favorite thing is definitely when Fred Armisen is listing off all of the sins. Like
that's really good.
The whole scene is great. What he lists like, damn it, what does he list? He lists like heresy, and something else.
A busybody.
But he lists like the same thing, but just with a different word.
Oh, so it's lying with a woman, and then lesbianism, homosexuality. He's like, we count those as separate.
It's just so funny. I don't know. Also, his haircut is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's real good.
Yeah. All right. So that's pretty much it for the little hours.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed the movie and our assessment of it. Yeah, so at this point, we typically offer 3 choices for a movie, but this time around, we changed it up in the last episode. We decided on The Little Hours after we drew for it, and then we asked for submissions for our next episode. We have now received those submissions.
Yes, thank you so much for submitting.
Yeah. Thank you very much for submitting, because we couldn't do it without your submissions. So, let's see. So we did receive quite like a wide range of movies, which is very exciting.
A lot of Korean movies.
Yeah, a lot of Korean movies. But anyway, and I'll be sure to include all of them, like I did in the last episode. But it makes it difficult to choose what movie we're gonna watch from all of the submissions. So we thought the most fair way to make a selection was to go ahead and draw for it again.
Mm-hmm.
But rather than just draw one movie, we're gonna draw 3 and bring back the 3 choices. Let you guys vote on them. So with that, let me grab this little thingy and
shake it up.
Shaking it up. You want to draw?
I'll draw one. You draw one.
All right. Drawing one, and you draw another one. All right.
We have Mad Max.
Ooh, Mad Max.
Chachaks.
Fury Road.
Oh, Fury Road. So
yeah.
Fury Road.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, we got Sucker Punch is the second one.
Nice.
All right.
Kind of like that one. Oh shit! What we do in the shadows?
What we do in the shadows?
Dude, that'd be so funny.
All right,
great. These are all really good.
Yeah.
Actually, I have not seen Sucker Punch in a long time. I watched it on a plate.
I have not seen Sucker Punch. Mad Max is fantastic, of course, and What We Do in the Shadows
is peak.
Is
hilarious.
Yeah. But yeah, if your movie didn't get chosen, I'm very sorry.
Sorry.
We'll save them for next time. We'll do it again. Draw this stuff again. But with that, thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
Subscribe to the channel. Share us with your friends.
Subscribe to our Instagram. It's Therapy Podcast. We're always doing our voting there. You can also vote in the comments, or you can send us a DM on Twitter or Instagram. And our Twitter is Pod from Basket as well.
Yes. Yeah. Don't forget to like the video, and
don't forget to vote, and have a good night.
Yeah, we're gonna do some parting words this time.
Oh yeah.
So with that.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Have a good night, I guess. And this place is completely in disrepair. It's falling apart. It looks like a barn in Philadelphia. Have you been there?
Yeah, it's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
Please don't say that.
I think I want to call this place Little Philadelphia.
No, please.
I might.